Your boy Boss Cowboy Sports, bringing you
another one.
Yeah, this gonna be one of them ones. Promise you. Stephen Jones versus Brian Schottenheimer, the final tug-of-war before the draft. I honestly feel like I see a tug-of-war. I see it. Y'all know, if you've been following this channel for some time, everybody know all of us have our superpowers. I would say tea leaf interpretation is mine. Cause there's some things that's happening that got me thinking there's a tug-of-war going on with Brian Schottenheimer and Stephen Jones. I'm gonna definitely try to spell it out for everybody, and I'm gonna bring it all together because you had Booker come in for a 30 visit, and you know, I get it. They got a lot of Cowboy fans feeling up, some of them feeling down, and we getting close to the draft, and you know, it's very passionate during these times because people really believe in their ideas. I warned, and I mean this. Please, y'all, don't lose no friends over the draft. You know, we all sometimes see different paths forward. That don't mean nobody smarter. That don't mean nobody better. Sometimes there's multiple ways to solve a problem. So it's very interesting times, and y'all know me, man. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna do my calling. Y'all sit back, man. Boss Cowboy go break this down. I got you. Your boy Boss got that right on time. Let's go. Man, oh, my timing be crazy. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all give me one more second. Y'all sit back and just groove. Groove. All right. Turn this camera on. Come on. All right. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to BossCowboySports. All right. I see a tug-of-war, y'all. I do. I see a tug-of-war. So... y'all give me a second to drink this water. I will talk about this tug-of-war. So let me turn this down some before I really get going. Let me make sure I got the chat on too. Alright. I didn't. Okay. Let me test it. My boy. Okay, it's working. Okay. Alright, so like I was saying in the intro, all of us have our superpowers. Okay. Everybody brings something different to the community. Everybody has value in this community. Everybody has value in this community, right? Some people, they gonna give you content to make you feel good, positivity. You got some people that's gonna do film, like my boy JC Vach. You got people that's experts at certain positions. I would say like the OC and Lou and Vach in terms of offensive line. And then you got some people that I believe what they bring to the community is a high level ability to kind of discern what's going on. Some people could call it the politics, right? I would say I got that skill. I would say Tuck definitely has that skill on a high level. The OC has that skill on a very high level. So that's what made me start seeing, I believe, the tug-of-war that's going on. And see, partially where this coming from is basically being able to pay attention and say correctly what's really been coming out, the truth. Because a lot of people looked at this press conference by Brian Schottenheimer, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I was peeping the game. A lot of people took what they wanted to out of it. They didn't really, in my opinion, reflect what he was really saying in balance. I think if you was team weapons, you ran with some things. If you was team trenches, you ran with some things. But it's a balance to it that I'm gonna bring out. I think he clearly expressed what he wants. And I think what he wants is opposite of what Steven wants. Okay. So, and I'm going to talk about how I think this is going to play out. And I'm going to be all the way honest too. It's about time for the campaign, in my opinion, that Angie came up with. Let Brian cook. So, what am I talking about? So first, I'm gonna break it down. 3 times in that press conference, Brian Schottenheimer clearly expressed his vision for Dallas. 3 times. All three times, he talked about the trenches. All 3 times. Okay? I'm going to go through this one by one. It's going to be unrefutable. This is the first time. Listen.
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
He said, what do you want your identity of your offense to be? The first thing he said was physical.
Physical. Again, I talked a little bit in the opening press conference about, the marriage between the run game and the action passes. But, as a football team, as an offense, we want to be physical. My MO has always been to run the football. I really believe that the game, like I said, is up front. Led the league twice as a coordinator. Proud of that. I think getting a guy like Clayton Adams.
Look at all the things he talked about from one question. He asked him, what do you want your identity to be? He said physical. Then he's talked about the run game. Now he's talking about Clayton Adams. If you're using your common sense, what's first on his mind? What's first on his mind? If you use your common sense, like not your bias, not what you want to happen. If you listening to what your head coach is saying is first.
Really helps us as the coordinator. His knowledge, I've been tracking him for couple years now. He's an incredible mind when it comes.
See, I promise you this is why I love doing content, because y'all always ahead of me. No, this ain't it. What my boy Wee Woo said. This is the real reason. Hold on. Let me get it to work. It ain't working. Why is it not working, man? I'm trying to show my boy Wee Woo comment. Man. Hold on. Y'all give me 1 second. It came up. He said, that's why we keep signing guards. I love y'all, man. I swear to God, man. I swear y'all the smartest motherfuckers. I swear. My boy Wee Woo way ahead of me, bro. You seeing clearly.
It's not just the run game, but just how to attack defenses and how to get favorable leverage and things like that. But physical is the first thing that kind of jumps out at me.
So that's one. This another one. Listen.
Anyway, you've been in positions before going into the draft where as a coordinator you would argue, well, this is what we need here, and it's always strictly just from your perspective. Now you have the defense to think about, but also you mentioned like depth at running back. How vocal will you be saying, okay, this guy is good, but we have a lot of depth there, and this is a position, this position over here is more of what it needs. How do you envision handling all of that your first time?
Well, it's actually funny because I told Falus the other day, I said, damn, you look at free agency, you'd think I'm a defensive head coach. I mean, you look at what we did. I mean, I got Clayton Adams looking at me going, hey, man, I thought you were an offensive coach. But, look, at the end of the day, we got to build the most competitive roster we can build. And again, the cool thing about this time of year, the teams that do it really, really well, which I think we're one of those teams doing it really, really well, is that it's two parts, right? It's free agency. You do free agency first. You compare, okay, what's the safety depth in free agency compared to the draft? What's the defensive line look like in the draft? And then you obviously look at your holes in the areas that you want to improve. But I will say there's a couple times that I sat with Steven and Jerry and Will, and we were making some decisions in free agency, and I literally had to say, well, we need to go with this guy. And he was on the defensive side of the ball. But that's what's best for the football team. And at the end of the day, what matters is putting together the best football team that we can put together and winning football games.
Anyway, you've been in positions
before. That was the wrong clip. This the right clip. Listen.
When you look at how this whole NFC East shakes out, you've obviously been in the...
So, remember the first time they asked about what do you want your identity to be? Now he talking about the NFC East. Listen to what your head coach say.
Division. What do you think that you guys have to do to be able to compete in this division to win the division?
Well, again, I think, number one, it's an incredibly difficult division. Addressing the front seven on both sides of the ball is something that we've wanted to do. Addressing the front seven on both sides of the ball is something that we've wanted to do. It's an incredibly difficult division. Addressing the front seven on both sides of the ball is something that we've wanted to do. Again, one of the mantras of our program is going to be you got to own the line of scrimmage. And so whether it's Philadelphia, Washington, the Giants, they all have good fronts. And so from an offensive perspective, they all have good fronts. And so, they all have good fronts. The Giants, they all have good fronts. Whether it's Philadelphia, Washington, the Giants, they all have good fronts. And so from an offensive perspective, you got to be able to do that. From a defensive perspective, you have to be able to pressure the quarterback. But it's going to be really a fun division to watch, but one that we feel very comfortable in our ability to go and win.
That's two. So hold on real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. I pulled the wrong clip. I got to go find a third one real quick. Y'all be patient, man. Hey, I got to fly this plane. But if you want the evidence, if you want the facts, if you want answers.
You want answers?
Sometimes you got to wait. Give me 1 second, man. Let me find a third, because I pulled the wrong clip. So y'all give me a second to find the right clip. Give me 1 second. Sometimes before you do shows, you should listen to your stuff just to make sure you got the right ones. Y'all give me 1 second. Where is that? Because I want to show y'all all 3 times he talked about the trenches. And I'm going to show you a pattern as he was talking about the trenches. It's a clear pattern to me of him talking about them trenches. Give me a second. Y'all give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay. I'm having trouble finding that third one. All right. But this is the one thing I'm going to show you. I should have had that ready. I don't. I apologize about that. I'll show y'all on the next show the 3 times, because I remember I showed this before. It was 3 times he talked about the trenches. But now watch this. Listen. Watch this.
But the 12th overall pick, what are you looking to get with the 12th overall pick?
So what I want you to notice is every time he talked about the trenches, he was never asked about 12. Okay? He was never asked about 12. So then when he asked about 12, watch his answer.
But the 12th overall pick, what are you looking to get with the 12th overall pick? And are the type of player you're looking to get? And is there a position based on value you stay away from with that high of a pick in the first round?
Yeah, again, the starting point would be best player available. You know, you're always looking for game changers when you're picking 12th. Like, we don't want to ever pick 12th again, right? Let's be honest. We don't want to pick that high. But you're looking for guys that influence the game. How do you influence the game? You rush the quarterback and you get sacks. Strip sacks, fumbles, whatever it is. You score touchdowns, okay? So those are usually, I look at it this way, you build it from the outside in. See?
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number 1 bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard somebody say you build a team from the outside in? Have you ever heard that in your life?
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number 1 bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
You got corners, receivers, they get isolated one-on-one. Pass rushers, tackles, they get isolated one-on-one. And then obviously the quarterback position, but usually that's the way I've looked at it, is when you're building a roster, kind of think of it from building it from outside in based on guys that get isolated a lot. You kind of think of it from building it from outside in based on guys that get isolated a lot. Based on guys that get isolated a lot, because when you're isolated and you can't help, it's a pretty daunting task sometimes.
All right, so I'm certain that's a bluff. I'm certain, cause see, every other question when they asked him, it ended up being the trenches until you asked him about 12. Then he started talking about building from the outside in. Okay. So, boss, they wouldn't bluff. They would give away their draft strategy. They would bluff, and they do bluff. What was a bluff that they clearly did? A bluff that they clearly did was when they said, we're looking to go younger at quarterback. And then end up what they do. What did they ended up doing? What did they do? Joe Milton. Right? And to a degree is younger. But what was everybody thinking? Oh, they go draft it. No. And they flipped it on us. Them boys went and got Joe Milton. So when you look at the key additions, right? When you look at what they did, what does your eyeballs say? What did they spend their free agency on? If you just use your eyeballs. What did Wee Woo say earlier? It shows you that what he said at first was not a bluff. This.
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
Physical. Again, I talked a little bit in the opening press conference about, the marriage between the run game and the action pass.
See, that's the real vision. See, that's why you seeing, to my boy Wee Woo point. And like I said, he was ahead of my presentation. That's why you seeing the major investment into the offensive line. Bus, you might as well take Booker off your list, because if you go look at all the guys, that they brought in, they clearly not doing. They clearly not doing book stock team weapons right in their tracks. Now, see, I'm building up to the tug-of-war. See, this is the other side to the tug-of-war. Okay. So I'm seeing one side, and I had to paint the picture of what's going on with one side, right? When I look at what's going on one side, I clearly see, in my opinion, the tug-of-war. Okay. I see one side clearly expressing that they want to be physical. Okay. I see it through the free agents, right? But then there's another side, the Steven side. See, you got to stay with me, because I'm going to paint
usually,
hold on.
Big defense.
My bad. I hit the wrong button. It's the wrong button. It's the Steven side. Okay. It's his side. So I think your head coach is showing with the free agents, with a massive amount of competition that they bringing in, whatever level of the competition, right? He's clearly, in my opinion, showing that he really wants to run the ball, because his coaches show it, He show it. All these free agents show it. He wants to run the damn ball. He wants to be physical. I want him to be physical. So then you got, in my opinion, the dilemma is Steven. This is the dilemma. Because then I take a look at the 30 visits. What does the 30 visits show? The 30 visits show, in my opinion, their true priority. I believe Brian Schottenheimer's priority is different than Stephen Jones' priority. Tet, first round. Abuka, first round guy. Luther, first round guy. Obviously, then after this, because this list has been updated, they brought in Matthew Golden, first round guy. So they brought in 4 first round wide receiver targets, and they brought in 1 guard. No, 2. Jonah. They brought in 2 guards and Kelvin Banks. And they also brought in old boy from Missouri. So they brought in 4 offensive linemen, first round graded guys, and they got 4 receiver first round graded guys. To me, that's telling me this. Somebody wants the weapon. Somebody wants the trenches. Hence the tug-of-war. So, the next question is, how is this likely go play out? To me, that's the question. This is where, in my opinion, you need people that's good at reading tea leaves to kind of answer that question. And to answer that question, I think you got to look at something and somebody. I think you got to look historically, and it'll answer this question. Are y'all with me some more so far? Are y'all with me? Oh, and they brought in Simmons. You right. 5. My bad. You right. And my boy say, boss, it's not Steven. Well, who is it? Who is it? I'm gonna take some calls, coach. So, this is how I think it's gonna play out, y'all. Because I'm being honest with you. It's a lot of people, team weapons, they bummed. They bummed right now. They feeling hurt. Boy, when y'all saw Booker come in on that 30 visit, I saw it like, man, you should see the war we having on Twitter right now. You should see it. It's real. It's some real wars on this. See, I'm team run the ball. I'm team physicality. I ain't spend 2-3 years talking about we need to run the ball to get finesse. I'm just being honest. I'm going to be consistent. Okay? And this is my personal opinion, bro. If Brian Schottenheimer say he want his identity to be physicality, the most physical person in the draft is Booker, y'all. I'm just telling you right now. I'm just telling you right now. But how is this going to play out? I think if you want to know how this going to play out, you got to look at history. Look at this.
Anyway, Mike, welcome back to Dallas. You left the Vikings 2 years ago. You were out of football for a couple of years. As you've come back to the game now and you've looked at tape of these guys, what first impressions do you have about the players you're inheriting?
There's a lot of talent here. I do think we're thin in some areas, but
he said, I do think we're thin in some areas.
Hopefully, we've accomplished some of the things in the draft with Neeland and Marist, trying to get those guys up to speed and adding a few bigger bodies. But
we trying to get them guys up to speed and a few bigger bodies. What was Zimmer clearly saying he needed?
You obviously big focus on stop and run. You got you're inexperienced on paper at the defensive line, even with Mozzie.
right,
With the scheme gonna make that much of a difference?
You thin at defensive line. Is the scheme gonna make that big of a difference?
well, I hope so.
Hey, listen, y'all. Now, keep in mind, this was in training camp. When did Stephen Jones and what did he say he was going to do before camp?
There's usually, big defensive tackles out there that you can pick up. I know the Eagles picked up a couple years ago, late in the game, and just feel like there's going to be some opportunities there at that position as well. To add something, to add some depth and some competition for camp.
When did he say he was bringing in the DTs? Because I know a lot of people would be like, man, he keep his promises. When did he say he was bringing them in, the DTs?
Position as well, to add something, to add some depth and some competition for camp.
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 For camp. For camp. And then we were sitting in camp.
The scheme gonna make that much of a difference?
Well, I hope so. It's
Shit.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
Tyreek, I honestly think this is what they gonna do, bro. Tyreek, I think you're right. I think they go a receiver, bro. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. I think they're going to receive at 12 too. If we look at history, that's why I'm showing you this. This is also Zimmer at camp. Look.
Mozzie's done a good job in there. We got to find some more noses, obviously. Done a good job in there. We got to find some more noses, obviously.
Petition for camp. For camp. For camp. For camp. For camp.
And some more noses, obviously. See how these young guys do.
So how did it play out? And I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right. My boy say. He say, devil's advocate, Mike McCarthy error. Boss, Schottenheimer would have a team. This is why I don't believe that. I'm gonna just give you my logic on it as I'm interpreting the tea leaves. I don't believe that because Zimmer basically was clearly lobbying for DTs. I showed you 3 times that he came out into the public with it. And when you got to come out in the public, you don't think he was having this conversation in private? And this is a fantastic question because low key, I'm being honest, they finna do it to you again. They finna do it to us again. You know who they betting on now? Let me pull them up real quick. Let me show you. Because see, we've been saying we need DT. I'm going to tell you what they doing. Let me pull it up. I'm going to see if y'all can say it. Because I was going to do a show on this. I'm going to see if y'all could say it. Let me see if y'all can see it. Who they betting on now? And I see, yeah, we did get Jordan Phillips. But when? We got him. And see, I already got this in here, y'all. This is why I say I like y'all, man, because y'all always be ahead of me. I love it. See, that let me know that y'all real Cowboy savants. Yeah. See, I love you, Tyrone Church. Yep. Rodgers. Yep. Rodgers is that DT they getting ready to bet on. They likely finna run out there with Mozzie and Rodgers. Cause see, one of y'all said we got Phillips. We did. But remember, we got Phillips in the midst of camp, not before camp. We got him in the midst of camp. Matter of fact, we got him before the last 2 preseason games. See, the Cowboys is likely finna sneak out Justin Rodgers as the answer and the depth at one tech behind Mozzie. There could possibly be some good news about that, though, because the reports was this from training camp. I remember last year. Tell me if y'all don't remember. It was a lot of reports saying Justin Rodgers was playing better than Mozzie. Do y'all remember that? I remember hearing that a lot. Yeah. And then Law in the house, OG. Yeah. And I agree. I definitely agree with OG Law. He said, don't sleep on Denzel Jackson, boss. Yeah, they likely getting ready to go with their guys. And then DeShannon said, boss, who do you want? I would always want a vet with the young guy. Always. I would want to do exactly what Philly did. When they got Jordan Davis, they didn't say, hey, man, we drafted you. Go. Nah, you know what they did? They said, Jordan Davis, he ain't ready yet. Even though he got the biggest upside. Sue, Linval Joseph, y'all come. We gonna go sign y'all. We got to give these young guys some time. So I'm painting what I really think is going to happen. So for everybody, I'm being honest, for everybody that lost it and was like, oh, shit, these boys brought in Booker. Oh, man, I think these guys is finna go offensive line. I honestly don't think they getting ready to do it. I think they getting ready to go weapon. And I think they go weapon because of this guy. And the reason why I was showing you the history of what they did with Zim, because I think that's what's getting ready to happen with this tug-of-war with Brian. That's why I told Angie today we might be having to pull out the Let Brian Cook campaign early. Because I swear to God, I see this man clearly expressing the desire of what he wants. See, I ain't trying to be right, y'all. This has nothing to be. I'm not trying to get cool points. And I like Booker. I want to be right. Hey, man. Nah. And Lou, I agree. My boy Lou say, we ain't learned our lesson. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with Lou on that. This is why I agree with Lou, and then I'm going to take some calls. This is why I agree with Lou. I think Cowboy Nation we need to remember who we dealing with. We got to remember who we dealing with. We dealing with Jerry, and we dealing with Steven Jones. Okay? You not dealing with people who hands off. You dealing with people that's too hands on. I'm gonna say that again. You're not dealing with people that's hands off. You dealing with people that's too hands on. We don't have that culture of Washington. We don't. My brother-in-law, he said we need to be right. It's a dangerous drug. Yeah, it is. It's very dangerous. That's why I'm trying to remind us, Law, of our history. So when you know your history, right, and you consider what we saying we want, because a lot of us over here, man, we need that weapon. And I agree. I agree that we need the weapon. I believe you go help your offense with the weapon. But see, you got to consider, if you draft a weapon at 12, you got to think about them, and they don't think pure football. They not like Washington, who will say, we got them, but we turning them over to you, coach. What did Magic Johnson say? Hey, we get them and we turn them over to the coaches. We let our coaches cook. That ain't the case in Dallas, y'all. So I get that a lot of us want the weapon. I get it. I all the way get it. But you got to think about it. If we get that weapon at 12, we just paid CeeDee Lamb and we just paid Dak. What do you think they gonna be pressuring Brian to be? What do you think they're gonna be pressuring our offense to be? Boss, they don't put pressure. They don't. Yes, they do. Jerry said himself that after every game that they have meetings about the personnel. So for those of us like Lou and myself, Coach Marv, West Coast, that been preaching physicality and believe in it, that you really want your first weapon to represent that. You want your pick to represent that. To me, now this is my opinion. This is my opinion. And I agree with you, Lee. This is what I fear because of the culture. You got to consider the culture of your Dallas Cowboys. You can't just think about the pick. You got to think about the culture. You got to think about the controlling culture of your front office. We talking about a quarterback that's trending to being potentially, his injuries are increasing. And if you get a weapon at 12, you go see likely pressure for us to throw the ball. You not go see likely let me make this bigger. This is why when I look at the overall when I look at the culture, I'm not looking at it like we just need the weapons. It's like, what do we do with our free agents versus our draft choices? So if you went and got Keenan Allen, what would he be? He would be considered what I call a bastard. Meaning it wouldn't be as big of a priority to feed him and throw the ball. So the people that want the physicality, which is what your head coach said he wants his identity to be. I'm not putting words in his mouth.
But, you know, as a football,
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
physical. Again, you know, I talked a little bit in the opening press conference about, you know, the marriage between the run game and the action passes. But, you know, as a football team, as an offense, we want to be physical.
So when I feel like I'm seeing this tug-of-war and I'm trying to really do content of what I really believe is in the best interest of the team, that's why so let me set these phones up. I'm gonna take some calls. Let's keep it short today, y'all. I got a lot I got a lot to do tomorrow. This draft week. So draft week it's a lot of work. Just trust me on that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep. It's a ton of prep. And I've been prepping. I've been looking at not just the Cowboys. I've been looking at all 32 teams. Okay. Very closely. I've been looking at all the key additions, the key departures. I might do a show on that because I saw something that was encouraging from looking around the league. And I'm going to tell y'all something. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I looked around the league. I looked at all 32 teams in depth. I promise y'all, in the last 3 days, I promise y'all, I'm not capping when I say this. I've spent 24 hours looking at it. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm talking about looking at it in depth. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know we mad at free agency, but I'm going to tell you, it's not that many teams that's done better than us in free agency. I'm being honest with y'all. It's when I looked around. Minnesota, I'm going to tell you right now, Minnesota, they going for it. They ain't playing. Philly, they retooling. They trying to repeat. The Rams, they ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? Washington, they threw a boatload. I'm telling you. Them four, watch out. I'm telling you. In terms of people who made the investments, I looked at it close, bro. I looked at it close. But Dallas is in the mix. We in the mix. I ain't lying. I would not lie to y'all. I would not lie to y'all. Because I still give our free agency a C. But I looked around. I'm like, we not as bad as I thought. I'm going to tell you, we would have been a lot better if we would have got Asante Samuels and Keenan Allen. we would have won free agency. We would have won. It would have been like we would have won the whole free agency. I'm dead ass. We would have with them just them two. If we would have just added them two, we would have won it hands down, bro. I'm talking about. Yeah. So anyway.
Bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the labels want the rights to me. CD on my back and it feel light to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me.
So y'all call on in, man. Y'all remember when y'all call in, don't go too long today because I got this draft week, so I got a lot of work I gotta do. A lot of work. All right. I usually don't rush y'all, but hold on real quick before we go and start taking these calls. We already got a Sapphire group. I see the group. It's a dope group. We got some of the best sitting in the queue. Let me show this real quick. This is important. What I'm finna show. There's too many people sitting in here didn't hit that like. We got too many people in here didn't hit that like. You know, I honestly believe I'm giving y'all top-notch content. Top-notch. Honest content. I'm being honest with y'all. We need at least 150 likes. I think, you know, it's just the right thing to do. And I do that, like, just keeping it real. I'll be listening to content. I'll be so into it, I forget to hit that like. So let's hit the like. And then let's take these calls. All right, here we go. I'm finna go ahead and lock it too. I gave y'all plenty of time to come on in. All right, so I'm gonna first start with this number. I don't know who this is. 803, you live.
No, you don't know my man. I ain't calling that. You know who I am.
Man, I don't even got you saved no more, Coach Moore. You've been protesting and you've been on vacation. You've been bullshitting, Coach.
Yeah, man, got a lot of stuff going on with my family, man, and I've been listening, man. I've been listening. You know, one thing about Cowboys, man, and I would say this first.
Yes, sir.
This is a very important season for us, and a lot of the Cowboys carry a lot of drama. They start a lot of stuff. There's a lot of drama. But when you got a new coach, I really want to see first where they go or who they pick up and what of identity. We're guessing with identity, but we'll be able to see what type of identity they have based off how they prepare and how they go about their work. Yeah. And I'm gonna give Shotty that chance. Not, we can talk about what he had done in the past and his culture of what he's went through, but I want to see what he's going to do about putting the team together, how he wants to have an identity. And first, we do need to have an identity, and he's so right about that identity part because we was an identityless team for the last couple of years. We couldn't hang our hat on anything.
Yeah.
But I will say this, boss. Me and you have talked a lot about how the Cowboys and their organization, and you told me this, and I learned this from you when you told me about how they look at the algorithms, and all the stuff, every story that they put out there, how the fan bases react to it, and this culture of being finesse is created by our fan base.
Yeah.
Because we are so enamored about two things. One, we want to be flashy and put the ball up there. Yeah. And then we want to say that our quarterback is getting $60 million and he should put everything on his back. And you know the Cowboys give us what we want, what we want. And then we complain when it falls apart and we say you need to go another direction, but we don't do that for a couple of weeks. And then we go right back to the same thing because it's built into us. And Schottenheimer, he said one thing earlier, Boston, when he first got the job.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him about how he was going to beat Philly. And he said, we got to build in the trenches.
That's what he said.
Philly.
That's right.
Because Philly, and we want to talk about it, Philly doesn't go get a bunch of weapons. They have had their wide receivers have been out. Brown will be out 2 or 3 games a year. The other receiver be out 2 or 3 games a year. They don't go get another wide receiver. They don't go get. They got one tight end. They never went and got another one. He was hurt. They never went and got another tight end. They got a running back, but they put their old emphasis on their offensive line, and then they built their defense to be a number 1 defense, which made the offense look like it's got a lot of weapons because you control the game up front. And I give them credit for one thing. They were bold enough to pay a quarterback more than anybody. 2 years ago, he was the highest paid quarterback. And they were bold enough to go get another weapon, which was a running back, and make him the quarterback who's got the biggest salary, the second option.
Yeah.
That's boldness.
That's putting winning first.
As an organization, would we ever be that bold? Will we ever be that bold, or will our fan base let us be that bold? It's important for this quarterback in 9 years, for us to make him do less. And you're so right, boss. If you get a weapon, a wide receiver, you're still going to put more emphasis on Dak to do it because the receiver can only catch the ball. Dak still has to be the one dropping back, making the passes, getting the ball, throwing the ball 50 times, and we're still putting the emphasis and too much pressure on him.
That's right.
I say it again, boss, and I'm ending right here. I put out a post a couple of weeks ago. You responded to the post on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the post was not trying to pick a player, but it was trying to test where our emphasis as a fan base that we feel that we need to be dominant in.
Yeah.
And if it was a receiver, but offensive line, and build this defense to be one of the best defenses in the world, and you got enough weapons to win a Super Bowl. History has already showed when we ever in this franchise have ever won, we dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage on the line, and we allowed our players not to make great big plays, but we controlled the line of scrimmages. We always had number 1 defenses, and we had great offensive line play, and we look fancy and we look explosive. Build that, and we'll be back at 6. But trying to do it in the finesse way, we're not going to get there.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Coach.
I'm back, boss. I'm back in the fold again,
You
brother.
back. We got Coach back, man. Y'all clap it up. Coach is back, man. We got Coach back. God damn, we miss you, Coach.
Yeah, we about to go to the draft. Once we get to the draft over, then we have the groceries in, and then we can find out what we going to go at. But all this speculating, but they going to give us, boss, and you're the only person, one of the only people out there fighting for football. And let's make this team do football decisions and not what's going to get the clicks and everything.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be, is football decisions, because it ain't weapons that we need. It's toughness.
Physical.
It's toughness is what we need.
Amen.
Yeah, what's between, we got toughness and mental. And then we got to have mental toughness. And I hope that Schottenheimer brings that to this team. Toughness physical, but mental toughness to say we get the job done. If that don't have a good game, we still going to get the job done.
Right. Appreciate it, Coach. Good call. Good call.
Salute, fellas.
Salute. And so I addressed this early. He said difference making should be built from the outside in. And this is what I was telling y'all. That was a smoke screen.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number 1 bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
See, remember, that was when they asked him about 12. And we got, and listen, y'all. they not gonna give away their draft strategy. You know what I'm saying? At 12, he not gonna sit up there and tell you, yeah, we getting ready to get it. You know, if you really look at what he was, every time they asked him, what's your identity? He talked about the trenches on both sides. When they asked him about the East, he talked about the trenches. He talked about the trenches more than anything. If you go listen to that press conference. But then when they asked him about 12, that's when we go build from the outside in. And just think about it. When have you ever heard that? Ever? When have you ever heard that? What's up, DMV? Like, when have you ever heard the way that you build a team is from the outside? You've always heard trenches wins it all on both sides. It's clear that he was smoke screening to me. All right, let me take the next call. Coach Q, what's up, man? Hometown, what's up, boy?
What's up, boss? How you doing, sir?
Good.
Man, I think the Booker and Simmons is a way for the Cowboys to drum up trade down. Let me tell you why. And I had to do a little research to look this up. The Cowboys always go heavy on RAS score, and I thought that was kind of like fake, but
they do.
Look at it.
They do.
Tyron Smith, Frederick,
Zach
Martin, Cooper Beebe, Zach Martin, Guyton, Steele, all these guys have high
Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker, yes. In this draft, Banks has a high RAS score. Rutledge from Georgia, he has a high RAS score. Booker does not.
Yeah.
If we pick Booker, that would be so out of our box. It'd be crazy. Now, guess what? It's a bunch of teams that like Booker.
Yeah.
So if you're the Cowboys, you have to bring him in.
Right.
To say, hey, if you want him, you got to come up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, boss, if the Cowboys want a wide receiver, they might not like who we think they like. They might like a Booker. And I don't know how to say it. Booker is more in the 20s.
Yeah.
Which is where they would trade down to.
That's right.
So I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
Yep.
And so so we all know Cincinnati need an offensive lineman.
That's right.
Guess who else would love Booker?
Miami.
Philadelphia. Now, I know a lot of people say they'd be too far.
Nah.
But Philadelphia have traded with Dallas a lot.
Yep.
They traded with Dallas a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm going to take them for all the. I'm going to get my first round pick. I'm going to get my second round pick because that's a long way to drop.
Yeah.
That's what you showed on 2 shows before, where you can get a bunch of picks trading that far down. So if Philly really want Booker, come get him. Because they know Cincy's going to be looking for him. And other teams going to be looking for Booker. Because they don't go by RAS score.
That's right.
If you look at the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, it's not RAS score. They go straight power.
Film.
Which is a little bit different.
That's right. They go film.
Yes.
We get guys that got the athleticism, and we believe we can coach them up.
That's right. And then, like I said, I've been trying my best to watch all the creators, and everyone says Booker is the best route runner, and we all know the most Dak-friendly wide receiver is a person that can run routes.
That's right.
And so I'm keeping my eye on Booker, dog.
Me too.
In this draft right here.
Listen, I like Ted because I feel like we need him in the red zone.
And everything.
Yeah, he do everything. He's the most complete. Mm-hmm. He's the most complete. Ted is what we never had.
He used to be a number 2.
Yeah.
He used to be a number 2. He know how to play his role, man.
He got a championship mentality too.
Yes. And so I think that's why the Cowboys waited so late in the game to bring Simmons and Booker in.
Yeah.
To let the whole league know, hey, if y'all want Simmons, if y'all want Booker, you're gonna have to come up and get them.
That's a good theory. I like that. That's a good theory. Like, cause see, it's a lot of chess. It's a lot of chess going on, man. That's a good call, coach.
Yes.
Good call. I love it.
Anytime.
Man, see, that's why I say, man, we got the smartest ass fans in the world, bro. I swear we do. D Schiff, what's up, boy?
Hey.
Man, chillin'.
Hey, man. Nah, bro. I just been with you. Like, I think you kind of been my favorite mindset out of all the content creators. how to approach this draft like this year. You know what I'm saying? And just my biggest fear, like I know you feel me, is just we go 2-3 years down the line and we not satisfied with this weapon that we pick, and we looking at one of these old linemen being a perennial All Pro. You know what I'm saying? And,
right.
And where we kind of, where we're struggling to, like, we need them type of players on this team. Like, I don't want to thirst like it. I mean, I don't think it's that bad to like really build a team where you focus on the trenches, you run the ball, and you got a dangerous weapon like CD who's getting fed everything, and everybody else is just eating scraps and playing their role.
Right. I ain't mad at it either. Me neither. I want to be a bully team, like, bro.
Yeah, and if you're a bully team, like it ain't that much passes to go around. You know what I'm saying? Because you run the ball so much, and CD needs his. You know what I'm saying? I know he won his 1700, and so if you just spread it around and just let everybody else have a role, like I get what people talking about, like like CD, he needs to help. He needs help and whatnot, but the run game is a major help, dog, and like Dak needs help too, and that other guy on the other side, like like even Brunson and Smitty. That's like my favorite take from them. As much
ain't that crazy?
I don't rock with them, bro.
But they was right.
On the fans, I respect them though.
Yeah.
For the most part.
They was talking ball that day,
but,
bro.
Nah, man, when they sit up there, like, and I know my boy Henny but like you sitting up here, these guys, like, and that's only like the only time Philly has really struggled is when their trenches had like took a downturn. You know,
right.
Like when they went to the Super Bowl, and they had some years where like Lane Johnson was getting hurt, and all these other guys, like that's when they was like missing the playoffs, or you know what I'm saying, getting beat by Tampa Bay. But when they fortified them trenches, all of a sudden Jalen Hurts the MVP. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Dak could easily be MVP, bro. And that's why, like, earlier, you know what I'm saying, we was giving a little take, and, like, a couple people was on Law's line, and they were tapping in about how, like, they wouldn't mind getting Shador. And, like, I kind of, like, I supported that look, because I'm looking at, like, man, is this team really going to get enough talent in time before Dak, like, run out? Or before they essentially run Dak out? Because like if Dak, like are they gonna re-sign Dak if he don't have a successful 3 years or contend within these 3 years? So that's my thing, man. Like I mean I'm with the getting the weapons, but like offensive lineman, like your run game, that's a weapon too. So. I don't know, bro. Man, that's all I really got, man. I'm glad the draft is like this week, though.
Me too.
So,
I'm
like,
ready for this to be over with. Me too. Let's get this over with. Like Coach said, let's get the grocers. Let's get the grocers in. Let's get them all in. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Take it easy, bro.
Good call. D-Shill. OG. DP.
What up with it, boss?
What's up?
I heard you the other day, after last time we talked, you talked about you needed to talk to folks about that sweet tooth Lou was talking about. Appreciate it. I love every time you double back.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think everything we talking about is physical. I called your show almost a month ago, and I told you physical is not a wide receiver.
That's right.
Physical is something that helps the run game. We got a hole at right guard. Let's fill it.
That's right.
Know what I mean? I like that boy. I don't care about no bad score, but I understand our team do.
That's
I
right.
like what Coach Q was saying. His little theory about trying to get boys to fish for that phone call.
That's right.
But I mean, I think it's worth it. I mean, in this draft, it's definitely worth it to trade down because. Like I had a phone call with you before where I said, well, Tech is probably a 22 to 25 in any other draft, which means the other receivers is pushed down too. But some of them is true second rounder. So second round receiver is probably the thing to do, honestly. Unless you won't get, if you can trade down and get extra picks, now you can have fun though.
Yeah,
we got a lot of good corners like we talked about.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a wide as kept. Linebackers don't usually go early, but it's 2 or 3 linebackers that's worth early if you can afford to go for them.
Man,
you know what I mean?
yes, you preaching, boy.
You
preaching.
It's some sneaky safeties in this draft.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If we can trade down and pick up some extra picks, like you said, if we can get down in them 20s, we start having fun.
Man, we gonna have some fun, bro. Yes. Hey, because you saw the mock drafts. Like, you saw the war we had with Philly. Did we draft bad ever?
Yeah.
And we moved down every time.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't usually like watching the shows with the Philly podcasters just because they annoy me.
Yeah.
But I was laughing with you the whole time because I was like, damn, they sound like me and Boss Conversation right now.
They did.
They was saying everything we were saying, bro. I was just laughing.
And they was keeping it
like,
real. DP, they was keeping it real, bro.
Yeah.
Like, because, see, landlord asked him, he said, what would y'all say we need to do? And both of them say, y'all need to replace Zach Martin. And matter of fact, Lord said, because, see, people not thinking, in my opinion, this through, bro. They know they got Carter and Jordan Davis over there. So they like, what would neutralize us? You feel me? That's what they thinking. What would take away? Because, see, Carter not going to play over Tyler Smith. They going to move Carter to Hoffman.
Yeah. And guess what? For all as tough as he is and all the want to in the world and scrappy in the world, that's not stopping 6'8", 350.
That's right.
So
right.
you need a dog that know how to hank it down and push him back. Now,
Right.
I mean, Hoffman, I love scrap him.
Yeah.
I love everything about Hoffman. I want him on my roster.
That's right.
I don't want him as my starter, though.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, if I need to do is come off the bench pissed off and on fire,
That's
come
him.
out.
That's him.
But
He the guy.
But for 17 games, for 17 games, I can't say that I'm there with him.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm there with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me neither.
It's a few things that been pointed out to me lately that's kind of annoying, bro. Like, I think it's Q talking about, I don't know what we're gonna do at the end if we re-signing Dak, whatever. Know what I mean? The Cowboys have played with that man's whole career and a few others. Know
That's
what I mean?
right. That's right.
Playing these games instead of building the team, bro.
That's right.
Know what I mean?
That's right.
All y'all, I don't understand how, as a fan base, you watch the front office take away from the team and demand more out of it
That's right.
for years. And y'all turn around and blame the players.
Yeah.
Like, get on this front office ass, bro.
That's right.
Know what I mean? Boss and Henny did a show today. We've had in 10 drafts, we've had one top 100 running back and 3 top 100 receivers. Yeah, that's a bit crazy. That means that's how much support you're giving your quarterback. That's his career, bro.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
I mean, we do got to do better, but we got to give him nothing to work with. Dak ain't never talk bad on none of his weapons. He gonna, whatever you put him out there with, hell, I'm gonna have him in my backyard. I'm gonna believe in him by the time the season comes. And if it don't work, I'm gonna take the blame for it. That's who Dak is.
That's right.
I mean, he's not gonna sit there and say, "Go get me somebody that's not gonna lose balance when he's breaking." Go get me somebody.
He
that
gonna say, "I
can
believe in these guys, man. These are my guys, man." He gonna say that.
But that's a leader.
Yeah.
But that's a leader. Know what I mean?
Yeah. He ain't gonna throw him under the bus ever.
Yeah, he'll take the bullet before he sit there and say this dude messed up.
Yeah,
he gonna be like, nah,
he
that's
want the
what
weapons feeling like he believe in them. He the ultimate leader.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't understand how you call yourself a Cowboys fan and you also the biggest Cowboys hater. Like, some of y'all got to get y'all shit together, man.
Yeah.
Like, y'all wonder why the front office play the games they play because y'all allow for it with the way y'all act. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I call it positive Pampers. You know what I mean? It's where we got grown people problems. Don't put no Pampers on this. You know what I mean? We got to talk about this like adults. Yeah. We can't talk about I'm not on that. I just want to feel good. It's like winning feel good. You know what I'm saying? That's what feel good. Like how we felt watching Philly and watching the Washington, that felt bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that feeling. So I'd rather tell you when you need some gum. Period. You know, and I still love you. I still support you. I'ma still cheer for you, but I'm gonna be honest the whole way. What it is?
Yes, sir. But check this out.
Mm-hmm.
This time I'm gonna walk off to help you with solidify y'all points for everybody. When you hire a first-time head coach, and his first 2 hires are both offensive line coaches, yeah, we trying to punch something in the mouth, bro. We're not trying to dance.
Man, that's the way to end the call right there, man. Y'all clap it up, bro. God damn. Good call, DP, man. That's a good call, bro. Clap it up for the OG, bro. He is truly an OG in the community, man. Good call, bro. DP. Yeah, he always do that. He just hang up. He don't even say bye. And so listen, y'all. Let me say this before I take my last call. Let me tell you one of the most annoying things right now. Because y'all hear us saying we want to be physical, does not mean that we don't take running back and wide receiver 2 that much as serious. At this point, I really want people to stop saying that, because we not saying that. Like, for those of us who want the physicality, before I take my last call, for those of us who want a physical front, we are not saying don't get wide receiver 2. Going any kind of physical offensive lineman in the first or second round really means go get Keenan, okay? Or trade for wide receiver 2. This is the stuff that's starting to annoy me. When I say I want us to have a physical presence, that is not any of us saying we are co-signing Tolbert to be wide receiver 2 or Mingo. None of us are saying that. None of us. So at this point, really listen to what we saying. Don't put words in our mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us are trying to solve the problems for the Dallas Cowboys. All of us. And the best way we can do this is having serious debates, serious discussions. Let me take my last call real quick. We got Magic City. What's up, Magic?
Hey, what up, family?
What's going on?
Hey, I just want to get on and pick up these people. You make good sense. Like, you go either way. You get if you do get the big tackle, you could draft Higgins in the second round. That's your big. You see what I'm going?
Yeah.
You can get Higgins, and you can get that'll make up for the team, and you get a Smith or one of them halfbacks in the third round. So you can't miss a beat right there.
Right.
And now, if you don't get them, they're going to have a good running scheme with the new offensive coordinator. And you still got Will Hernandez out there that used to play Arizona.
That's right.
Arizona didn't have no good offensive line, and it was ranked number 3 in the running.
That's true.
So you do need to get physical. And they're looking for they like the UCLA linebacker. He might be your second round pick.
He could.
The tackling machine from UCLA.
He could.
And then get your corner. Yep. And then you get the D tackle from Indiana. He's a beast.
Yeah.
CJ. So I see where you're going. So I agree. Either way, I'm not going to be pissed. We get the running game going, and we can smack them in the mouth. Because you see what Philly did. They know we coming.
That's right.
And before I get off, go watch the first half of both Philly and Dallas games. If you had a quarterback, the Cowboys would have scored 20 points.
Right.
I'll leave it at that. I want everybody, go over that for me, boss. Watch that first half.
Yeah.
And watch our new arms, Miss Stones, and Philly couldn't even score. And they finally started scoring when all them turnovers.
Right.
So go check that out.
Before you go, MJ, I was listening to the Lost Show. You called in. You referenced me when me and you had that fight, and then we made up.
Yeah.
First of all, that's true.
Yes,
First of all, that's true. We are like brothers. The only problem, you called me little bro.
A little bit more. Oh, I'm older than you.
I was like, little bro.
I said that.
Nah, I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you, man. Good call, MJ. Good call. Hey, also, MJ, I
Good
appreciate
show,
that.
brother.
I appreciate that work you put in. I do. I appreciate that you're not just a fan that just call in without looking. You look. You know what I'm saying? You really do. And that
they don't be looking, man.
now you look. So
I
we
be
appreciate
doing my
that.
homework.
Now you do your homework, and so it allows you to have confidence when you're throwing out good ideas and stuff like that, man. I just appreciate people like you in the community, bro. I really do. Okay. Y'all clap it up for Magic, man. That was Magic. That was Magic City, man. Magic City in the house, man. Famous Magic. All right, man. All right, my boy DMV in the building. He said, "Can we be physical with a tone setting back?" Yeah, and yeah. If we thinking culture, if we thinking, in my opinion, trying to set their physical presence, yeah, I think you have to look at running back and somebody like Booker in round 1 or 2. In round 1 or 2, especially when you consider in my opinion, the culture of the Dallas Cowboys, man. But so was I happy? Obviously, was I happy when I saw Booker? Y'all already know the answer to that.
Yes, Lord.
Because I really do believe in his hat. I believe in run the ball. I believe in physicality. I really know that your Dallas Cowboys, because I heard the debates. I heard stuff like these other teams, they didn't win it drafting offensive line like we do. And I understand looking around the league to try to figure out what we should be doing. I think that's smart. I think you always should look at your competition. At the same time, I think also looking at our own history is just as important. In 2014, Romo and that team with Murray set a franchise record in wins and consecutive wins. And it was behind that offensive line. And it really was. It really was. Do y'all remember when the Dallas Cowboys went into I swear I hate y'all, man. Listen, Tuck, we gonna be fighting, bro, all the way to the pick. I can tell. We gonna be fighting to the pick. I can see it. And we gonna start fighting probably after the pick. Watch. It's gonna be some fights, bro. The fight ain't gonna stop until the season start. But I just want to talk about the history. OG Tuck in the building. But Romo went into Seattle with the Legion of Boom, and they bullied them balls. Do y'all remember that? in Seattle. See, those type of games we don't win. Think about it. Those type of games we don't win now. Am I telling the truth? Yeah, we don't know. But in 2014, we was back-to-back smoking teams behind that offensive line. Because I heard people say, what did drafting those offensive linemen do for us? Yeah. Your franchise under Romo broke a record with 10 games straight. Broke a record. And then in 2014, you can't say it didn't do nothing for us. Yes, it did. Because guess what? The offensive line did their part. It was the Murray fumbles that cost us. We had that game won. We was ahead in Green Bay in their house. The offensive line opened up Red Seas worth of holes. Murray, when he fumbled, had the first down every time. So how can we say with a straight face, what has it done for us? If we've been honest. Pointing at the offensive line like they ain't do nothing for us, it's like pointing at Dak, say what has he done for us? Now, when they do their part, I'm not blaming you. What happened in 2016? You had a rookie quarterback walk in as a fourth rounder. And everybody like to say it was Zeke. Yeah, Zeke was important. He was very important. But you never, if you being balanced, talk about the running game and exclude the people up front. If you being balanced. You know what I'm saying? So, what am I saying? Romo, remember. Thank you. Thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's why I say I love y'all, man. That's why I love y'all. Because in 2016, to my boy Raw Text 26, to his point, Dak walked in as a fourth rounder. Zeke was a rookie. Dak was a rookie. What was not rookies, though? What was not? That front. That front was not rookies. Free, vet. Frederick, vet. Zach Martin, vet. T. Smith, vet. Leary, vet. And they got behind them boys. And they won 11 games straight. Walked into the last game and didn't even need to play. Dak sat down after the first series. Sat his ass down. Zeke didn't even touch the ball week 17. The season was over by week 16. We was walking in as the number 1 seed with a trash ass defense. Don't forget that part. Don't forget that part. In 2016, a defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed. Your offensive line led that. See, I know we like to look around the league. Yeah, I'm going to look around the league, but also I'm going to look at my own history too. I'm going to look at my own history. Yeah, and when I look at my own history, and I look at what happened in 2016, let's be honest. Why did we lose that game in the playoffs? Did Dak play bad? Answer the question. He had a higher passing rating than Aaron Rodgers. He had more yards than Aaron Rodgers. I think he had more touchdowns. So, did Dak play bad in that playoff game?
No, God! Oh, hell hell no!
Did Zeke play bad?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Did Dez play bad?
Oh, hell no!
Did Terrence Williams play bad?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Did Witten play bad?
Oh, hell no!
Did your offensive line play bad?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Why did we lose in 2016? Defense. So, let's just be very careful. Because see, all of us, we all doing our best. We all doing our best to present the best ideas. You know. All of us are doing our best to present what we feel like is the best path forward. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. Everybody been working hard. And we found out this week that we've been waiting on. This is the decision week. And I really do honestly feel wholeheartedly from the tea leaves that there's truly a tug-of-war. I stand with Brian Schottenheimer in this tug-of-war. I want what he wants. I want the physicality that he said he wants.
What do you want your offensive identity to be?
Physical. Again, I talked a little bit in the opening press conference about, the marriage between the run game and the action passes, but as a football team, as an offense, we want to be physical. My MO has always been to run the football. I really believe that the game, like I said, is up front. Led the league twice, the coordinator, proud of that. I think getting a guy like Clayton Adams really helps us as the coordinator. His knowledge, I've been tracking him for a couple years now. He's an incredible mind when it comes to not just the run game, but just how to attack defenses and how to get favorable leverage and things like that. But physical is the first thing that kind of jumps out at me.